Rare is a video game developer that was closely associated with Nintendo in the 1990s. As the company's premier second-party developer, Rare created a number of iconic titles for Nintendo's consoles, including Battletoads, Killer Instinct, Donkey Kong Country, Banjo-Kazooie, and Conker's Bad Fur Day. In 2002, Rare was acquired by Microsoft and became a first-party developer for Xbox. While the studio may not have the same prominence it once did, that doesn't mean it's no longer producing great games. In fact, Rare has consistently shown its ability to deliver quality titles, proving that it's still a strong force in the gaming industry. Kinect Sports was the Xbox 360's response to the popular Wii Sports game on the Nintendo Wii. Developed by Rare, Kinect Sports features a collection of 6 sports games, one more than Wii Sports. The included sports are bowling, boxing, track and field, table tennis, soccer, and beach volleyball. These games rely on players making specific gestures which the Kinect sensor detects and registers for gameplay. As a tech demo of sorts for the Xbox 360's Kinect peripheral, Kinect Sports does a good job demonstrating how the accessory enables motion controls without the need for a handheld device. It might not have aged quite as well as Wii Sports, but Kinect Sports still offers a solid lineup of sports games and fun motion controls, making it a great party game for players to enjoy and pass the time with. Grabbed by the Ghoulies was the first Rare game to be published by Microsoft and the first Rare game released on any Xbox console. The story begins on a dark and stormy night when Cooper and his girlfriend Amber seek shelter in a mansion. However, Amber is kidnapped by the mansion's owner, setting Cooper on a quest to rescue her and the other captives. In Grabbed by the Ghoulies, Cooper faces a variety of monsters, including the titular ghoulies and skeletons. The game features beat 'em up mechanics, with Cooper using a range of weapons to battle the creatures. Grabbed by the Ghoulies is a fun and frankly underrated start to Rare's tenure as a first-party developer for Microsoft and their Xbox consoles. Sea of Thieves was initially released for the Xbox One in 2018 and later released in 2024 for the Xbox Series X and, unexpectedly, the PlayStation 5, marking the first Rare game to be published on any PlayStation console. This online multiplayer game allows players to control pirates as they sail the 7 seas in their own ships, completing adventurous objectives along the way. Even after 6 years, Sea of Thieves still has a sizable player base, largely thanks to its unique premise and immersive pirate experience. Players can explore vast worlds, ransack other ships, and loot treasures. There's little wonder why a unique pirate game like Sea of Thieves is on Xbox Game Pass. Battletoads is not a remake but a reboot of the notoriously brutal NES game of the same name. In this new installment, the titular Battletoads awaken from a 26-year-long nap, only to find they've been outclassed as the galaxy's top heroes. To make matters worse, their old nemesis, the Dark Queen, has also been dethroned as the galaxy's most feared villain. Battletoads on Xbox One was co-developed by Rare and Dala Studios. The game is visually gorgeous and benefits from a noticeably lighter tone and a heavy drop in difficulty, especially in multiplayer mode. Each Toad Rash, Pimple, and Zit has distinct playstyles that do not clash, making multiplayer more of a breeze than the old NES Battletoads. Jetpack Refueled is a global remake of the UK exclusive classic Jetpack. The first game was developed by Rare in 1983 and released on Xbox 360 via Xbox Live Arcade nearly 25 years after the original. In Jetpack Refueled, players fire projectiles at aliens while collecting treasures to progress through its 128 levels. This remake successfully introduces the classic to a global audience with extensively modernized graphics, enhanced music, improved sound, and smoother controls. Jetpack Refueled offers an excellent way to experience Rare's first video game. The addition of a multiplayer mode, available both offline and online, also brings a competitive element to the game. With 128 levels to complete, there's plenty for players to do. Killer Instinct is a reboot of Rare's revolutionary 3D arcade fighting game of the same name. It retains many of the core gameplay mechanics and movesets from the original Killer Instinct games, especially the famous combo breakers. The primary objective in Killer Instinct is to execute an uninterrupted sequence of hits against opponents, resulting in a fluid and fast-paced fighting style. Although this new Killer Instinct is functionally similar to the original, it introduces several new features that keep the classic arcade game feeling fresh. One notable addition to the latest Killer Instinct is the counter break, which cancels out combo breakers and is designed to interrupt combinations of hits. The reboot also includes an online multiplayer mode, which allows players to battle each other while using all the possible combos. Banjo-Kazooie is Rare's colourful video game franchise, best known for its classic entries on the Nintendo 64. However, Banjo-Kazooie Nuts Bolts takes the duo's adventures to the Xbox 360. Unlike the more cohesive storylines of the earlier games, Nuts Bolts shifts focus to vehicle building, with Banjo and Kazooie competing against Gruntilda by constructing and racing unique vehicles. Vehicle construction is the core mechanic in Banjo-Kazooie Nuts Bolts, with Banjo and Kazooie building cars, airplanes, and boats. This change in gameplay may not appeal to some longtime Banjo-Kazooie fans, especially those who love the first two games. However, for others, it offers a refreshing change of pace from the traditional Banjo-Kazooie formula. Cameo elements of Power stars the titular character, Cameo, a young elf on a quest to rescue her family. She wields a powerful magic spell that allows her to transform into an elemental warrior based on real-world elements like fire, water, and ice. Since the game blends beat-em-up mechanics with action-adventure gameplay, this ability really comes in handy for Cameo. After a lengthy development cycle, Cameo Elements of Power was ultimately released as a launch title for the Xbox 360. The game's exciting mix of beat-em-up and action-adventure elements is only something Rare could have pulled off. Cameo's beat-em-up segments are particularly fun and satisfying, with the player being able to use elemental powers to take out an entire group of enemies at once. Perfect Dark Zero is a prequel to the original Perfect Dark, in which Joanna Dark conducted corporate espionage for the Carrington Institute. In Perfect Dark Zero, she still works for the Carrington Institute, but with a new mission to stop others from obtaining an artifact that grants special powers. Along the way, she must prove herself and rise to become perfect. While Perfect Dark Zero's single-player campaign is not as extensive as its predecessors, the game compensates with an impressive multiplayer mode. In Perfect Dark Zero's deathmatch mode, up to 32 players can compete in intense, futuristic shootouts. There's also Dark Ops mode, where teams compete to complete objectives as quickly as possible, adding a strategic layer to the multiplayer experience. Viva Pinata takes place on Pinata Island, where the player is tasked with maintaining a garden home to these titular pinatas. It's a unique take on the simulation genre, kind of like a zoo tycoon mixed with a farm simulation. The goal of Viva Pinata is to raise and breed the pinatas, which can then be displayed and revenue earned. Up to 60 species of pinatas can be raised. Viva Pinata has much to offer, from its intriguing premise and vibrant visuals to the well-crafted distinctions between each pinata species. Perhaps the best part of the game is that it almost feels like an homage to Rare's golden era. Rare has always been known for creating unique games with distinctive styles and substance. Viva Pinata, with its blend of simulation mechanics and stunning visuals, is a perfect example of that tradition. It captures the charm and creativity that has long defined Rare's legacy. Viva Pinata deserved to be a hit and is one of the best games Rare has made for any platform.